and welcome to the sideboard. I am here with notable bridgeman Adam Prosak. Adam, thanks for joining me. What's your current record in Standard?
I am 4-0, but 2 of them were buys. So two actual wins.
2 actual wins, but against opponents that were 3-0 and 4-0.
Correct. Well,
or 2-0 and 3-0. Yeah. So you were playing opponents.
I played 2 quality opponents.
Regardless, you have no losses. You have no draws. You're at 12 points, tied for the lead going into the Legacy. With this, tell us a little bit about your deck.
This is I've been spending a couple weeks just trying to quote unquote solve Standard, trying to figure out something. I knew I couldn't play something along the lines of the Delver deck because I'm not those. Jerry T's Delver deck requires so many guessing games.
Sure. And
that's not my game. I'm not an anticipator.
Sure.
So I was just looking for something else to do something. I saw Sam Black's mid-range deck, the Delverless Delver. I was already questioning Delver in a lot of scenarios. Maybe not a lot of matchups, but a lot of scenarios. And so I cut it. So what you see is a shell of the creature base. For the most part, looks very much like Sam Black's creature base.
Right.
I have 4 Blade Splicers.
So you've got 4 Blade Splicers with your 3 Restoration Angels. Mm-hmm. This is an engine in Standard that's very.
It's not really like an engine per se. Both cards are super high powered. One of them is 4 power for 3 mana across 2 bodies. The other one it just has a ton of text.
Yeah.
On a creature that's a reasonable size.
Sure. Without
the text, 3/4 flying for 4, pretty good.
Pretty good. Flash
makes it unplayable. You don't need the bottom text.
Right.
You don't need the blink text.
But you have it.
But you wanna take advantage of it because it's there.
Now
and that's why Blade Splicer is.
Of course.
That's the
Blade
thing.
Splicer, Restoration Angel makes an instant army.
Correct.
Another combination of creatures that makes an instant army is Sun Titan with Phantasmal in it.
And that's my new addition at Origins a couple weeks ago at the Star City Standard Open. I played a Delver deck and I sided into Sun Titans. And I was just so impressed. I won the vast majority of my games. I was very rarely Insectile Aberrationing.
Right.
Almost all the time. And these are post-board games. I was actually felt like I was doing poorly game 1s without Sun Titan in my deck.
Right.
I was doing poorly.
Sure. And then afterwards you decided Sun Titan's where you wanted to be.
Sun Titan's where it's at. Sun
Excellent.
Titan is much better than Consecrated Sphinx or any other fatty, even any of the 5-mana Planeswalkers.
Right. Now the last creature, the third creature group you have in your deck is Snapcaster Mage with instants and sorceries.
Very big combo.
Right, which is a pretty standard combination. You have Snapcaster Mage, Ponder, Thought Scour. You also have only 2 mana leaks.
That's the other thing. This last week I've been losing a ton on Magic Online. I'm talking I've won maybe 20% of my games or matches. And I was trying to figure out why and I couldn't. And then eventually I came to a point where it's actually it's because I'm drawing all these do-nothings. Part of the do-nothings were against their mana leaks.
Sure.
I would have these Dead Sun Titans. And I couldn't cast them because they would just get leaked or snap leaked or
Sure.
And then I'd have my own leaks where I'd have to 2 mana leaks for 1 spell. They go long, and I just wouldn't have time to use them. I wasn't willing to cut mana leak entirely because I want my opponent to respect it.
Sure.
Basically, I've been telling people I only want mana leak in my hand if my opponent Gitaxian probes me.
Right.
Because I want them to play around mana leak.
Now, the rest of the instants and sorceries in the deck put you into a 3rd color. Can you tell me a little bit about why you decided Forbidden Alchemy, Doomblade, Dismember, and Go for the Throat were you decided that was worth adding a whole nother color to the deck?
Yeah. Part of the reason, let's start with the Ponders, obviously, and I'm playing Thought Scour over Gitaxian Probe because partially, and the black cards are also because I want to be an attrition deck. I want to go long. You can't go long with the blue removal spells, Vapor Snag. And Dismember costs you too much life.
Right.
When it's only
blue-white decks. Sure.
Yeah. When it's always 4 life. You can't flashback Snapcaster, especially because this deck has no life gain. So any life you have is permanent, and a lot of people can deal you random 3 to 5 points of damage if they try.
Let's move on to your sideboard and see. Tell me about the groupings you've laid out here. Are for specific matchups and for specific cards, right?
In general, yes.
This first grouping here, you have 2 negates, a dissipate, and a Tameo.
Right.
That's your control.
Yes. The Dissipate and the Tameo is also for ramp matchups.
Okay.
But I actually, even against ramp, I don't want, because of Cavern Souls, I don't want them in encounter spells. Like, 3 is a good amount to have.
Yeah. Now you have, speaking of ramp, I assume you have Ghost Quarter Phantasmal Image, also for ramp matchups.
Phantasmal Image is for a large percentage of matchups.
Sure. It takes care of Geist, it takes care of Thrun, sure.
There's a lot of hedging I've done in the deck where, like, I'm fairly certain that a 4th Phantasmal Image in the main is correct because I want it in most of the time. I want a lot of Phantasmal Images in a lot of situations, a card I love to draw multiples of. The problem is that would put me at 61 cards.
Sure.
And I'm not willing to do that.
Okay.
So it's safer to put one in the board. Sometimes I do side 1 out or side 2 out.
You have a 75 card deck that you can only play 60 of at a time.
I can only start 60 of them.
Right. So your next grouping here, Day of Judgment, Timely Reinforcement, Celestial Purge, 1-ofs.
Oh, yeah, all one. Well, Day of Judgment is the second one. I have one main.
You have a second one main, or first one main, second one sideboard.
Yes. I definitely wanted exactly 2 for the beatdown matchups. Like, you can't get choked on them.
Yep.
Decks are too good at recovering from Day of Judgment.
Yeah.
But, however, it is like the sweeper.
And Celestial Purge obviously takes care of either Sorin or Geralf's Messenger or Blood Artist in a pinch.
Yeah, Blood Artist is actually like
the big
card.
One. Yeah. So you have 2 Oblivion Rings and Ratchet Bomb.
Those are my Sun Titanable removal spells.
Okay. Nice.
A lot of times I'll bring in packages. It's not like there's like 6 different
Yeah. You're bringing in different.
I'm bringing in
packages.
multiple packages.
Yeah.
So
if
I'll bring in the Oblivion Rings and the anti-creature stuff against like a zombie deck.
Sure.
For example.
You also have 2 Nihil Spell Bombs. Are you? Not a lot of people are playing Graveyard Hate.
Well, because they're not playing black.
Right.
This is the only good one. Like, it's not worth playing Surgical or Purify
the Grave. Sure.
The Graveyard interaction in Standard is very incidental. It's very Snapcast. You can't fight Snapcaster Mage with Purify the Grave. You're gonna lose. Yeah.
Yep. So your last card in your sideboard here is Steel Sabotage.
Yeah.
That's for swords, I assume.
Yes, it's my favorite disenchant.
Oh well, there you go.
It's actually a sweet story. I was playing against Dayton native, so I play FNM with him all the time, Lauren Nolan. And I make a pretty significant misplay, and I main phase an Alchemy when I want the top. Like, my 6 land is on top of my deck. I know that from a Ponder, and I need to draw it, but I forbid an Alchemy anyway on my main phase, because I don't want to get a counter or whatnot. And I end up seeing a Steel Sabotage. I'm like, I probably can lose to a sword a lot easier than I can draw to not drawing a 6th land.
Sure.
So I take the Steel Sabotage. On his turn, he just tries a sword, and I Steel Sabotage it. And the sword would deal me like a ton of damage.
Because you're a control deck. So
I'm also a white control deck, so War and Peace. I actually don't get to block very often.
Sure. So this deck is doing fairly well.
Yeah.
What would you change about the deck?
So like it's probably fairly fluid. There's a lot of things I'm not like 100% sold on. A lot of my sideboarding numbers are off. I like all the cards that are in the deck. However, like, I played against an Esper control deck last round, and I had too many cards I wanted to bring in. So I wanted like a 62 card main deck.
I see.
So I mean, and that's just poor. And I don't know what I would.
That's part of the game, though. I mean,
I would probably like maybe like a Tameo. Maybe, but like.
But you're happy with the main. You're happy with, like, let's say 73 to 75. So you would suggest this for future events?
This is a good shell to work from.
Okay.
I definitely think the Ponder Thoughtscour Forbidden Alchemy engine.
Yeah.
So then you start snapcasting it, and then you use like an engine.
You've got 3 engines working in the deck. You've got Sun Titan Phantasmal Image, which works along with Forbidden Alchemy.
This engine is fueled by
this engine. Yeah. The Snapcaster engine fuels the other engines, but Blade's Place or Restoration Angel can act on its own sometimes.
Correct, and it often does.
And then you've just got these other control elements until you can draw into your other pieces.
Yeah, that's absolutely what it is, and the other thing about it is, like, all these cards are really powerful on their own.
Yep.
I would say the worst cards in the deck are the Mana Leaks, the Day of Judgment, and maybe some of the spot removal spells. Maybe the Alchemy.
Sure.
Is probably like not like top tier.
Sure. But if you're looking for an engine, if you're looking for several engines that you can run together, if you want to fight the Delver menace, if you think that you can handle
fight Delver with some of the stuff they use.
with some of the stuff they use, fight the Delver menace with Snapcaster is
right.
Yeah. But
this
if you want,
this is in their deck. This is in their deck.
yeah,
This is not in their deck.
But if you want to try something new, if you want something that works, this is Adam Prosak's Esper Control Deck. Thanks for watching.
All right.
From the sideboard.